Hello everyone, welcome to LexTalk.World talk show presented by Clickaway Creators. Today we have Mr. Rohit Salwaan with us. He is the Head of Legal and Chief Anti-Corruption Officer at IIFL India Infoline Group. He is a result-oriented and visionary professional with over 17 years of dynamic record achievements, targeting assignments in legal analysis, documentation, advisory, and consulting, compliance, litigation and non-litigation matters, strategy planning, drafting and vetting, risk mitigation, contract management, liaising and coordination, mortgages and documentation, contract management. He has been recognized and facilitated as in-house counsel and general counsel of the year at various forums. He has been also a part of the Legal 500 GC's Powerlist. He has been part of various seminars, conferences, panel discussions, and webinars as a speaker on various legal issues organized by various legal forums and universities. Thank you so much for joining us, Rohit, today. We are pleased to have you with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, great. So Rohit, to start with, I think it'll make a lot of sense if you can also do a quick brief introduction about yourself for our viewers so that they understand better from your perspective.
Yeah, sure. So I brought up and completed my studies from Delhi. So I completed my Bachelor of Sciences and my law graduation from Delhi University itself. In the year 2003, I completed my law. I've started practicing there. I've practiced almost three and a half years in various Delhi courts, forums, tribunals. So after three and a half years, I've shifted myself from active litigation to the corporate side of the world. So the first corporate was Max Life Insurance Company, where I worked for the one and a half year. Then I moved to Kotak Mahindra Prime Limited. It's an NBFC from Kotak Mahindra Group. I worked there for 11 years. And in Kotak Mahindra Prime, I was in national role for almost 8 years. Last year, I shifted from Kotak Mahindra Prime to IIFL Finance. IIFL Finance is also one of the leading NBFC of India. So here my role is, here I'm a head legal NBFC. I'm also anti-chief corruption officer. And I'm also a committee member of a POSH. So I have seen the active litigation, the passive litigation, the drafting side of it, the compliance side of it, the risk management, the investment side of it. So more or less, all the spheres of this legal profession I have seen. I'm learning and I've been going through it.
Okay, great. Learning is a continuous process, and we all have to keep that inculcated in our careers and personal lives too. So we completely agree with you on that. And thank you so much for giving us a quick brief about your personal and professional journey so far. Since you come from the financial industry, you have always been working with these financial institutes, and currently you head the legal department. I think we would like to know about the financial sector more now. What kind of impact do you see because of COVID-19 on the financial sector, and from a legal perspective, what sort of solutions do you envision?
Yeah. So look, I see the entire situations, I bifurcate into three parts. So there was a norm of normalcy prior to this COVID thing happened. So I'll call it as a pre-COVID zone. And currently we are sailing through a current COVID process. We have challenges in hand. And maybe once this COVID will be over, we'll be in the post-COVID with a new norms of normalcy and everything. So taking one zone each and explaining the impact and the solution, what I see. So from a pre-COVID zone, if you see, everything is very normal, very happy, go lucky. We all are, doing our professional things, never anticipating this will ever happen. COVID thing will happen and happen to the extent we have no clue. We suddenly enter into a uncertain zone where future doesn't look very very happy and very certain. So once this COVID thing strikes somewhere in the January, February, I was also traveling a lot in January without realizing this is going to be a very big mess. So till March I was traveling. Actually, I was attending courts and the other branches of the corporate. But what happened, when this entire thing started, when the entire thing COVID thing strikes, so suddenly legal team have seen, very unprecedented issues which is never handled by the team. And frankly speaking, nobody has an idea how to deal with it, because every day new challenges are coming, new circulars are coming, new notifications are coming, and you have to be on a top of it, so that you should not be on a, the wrong side of the law. So that is one biggest challenge. The first challenge that we started facing as a legal team on a corporate side. Then obviously when the courts started shutting, so the recovery side and the collection side suffers the most. The dispute resolutions become slow, and not even slow, it almost in a stage of a what do you call, nothing is happening there. So there is no recoveries, there is no collections, there is no dispute resolution. This is happening. These courts are closed. They are only taking the very urgent matters they are taking, that too as per their discretions, and every court, every state has a different discretion parameters to see the matters. So that is one part. When the notification, the circular started coming from the RBI side, like the moratorium things. First it was for 3 months, then it extended to 3 more months. So it's like a 3 months moratorium. So it's not about simple notification clarification of the moratorium which happens. It actually creates a lot of uncertainty in the entire legal things. People have started PIL before the courts. What will happen to the interest on the, okay, will not ask for, as a finance company, nobody will ask for a principal, but what about the interest? Are we allowed to accept the interest? Post the COVID thing happen, what will happen on the interest on interest things? So when matters come to Supreme Court is also very not clear about how to take it about. So Supreme Court also says that the RBI and the Ministry of Finance, they should actually sit together and understand and strike a balance between both the sides of the industry as well as from the customer's perspective, how to go about it. So here also, if you see, the judiciary also is not very certain, very clear how to go about it, because this is a war between equity and the principles. What is laid down in the role and what is equity? Equity says yes, we should actually waive all the interest, but principle says if you have entered into a contract, obviously you need to pay the interest. So it's a war between principle and the equity kind of thing. I really don't know which side will finally wins, but that's a thing we really need to see about it. Then we see principle of no work, no pay remains the norm. Earlier, in the pre-COVID situation, if you're not working, there is no pay. But the notification comes, even if industry, the unit is not functioning, employer has to pay the employee. It also creates a lot of stir in the environment. People file PIL, it's pending with the Supreme Court. And Supreme Court has again, put the ball in the court of both employer-employee. You please sit together and negotiate what to do with the salary of that period where, the entire unit was actually not functional. So that is one. But so there are a lot of, HR issues which is also come up, which I foresee as a matter of litigations. So team during these situations has also, business continuity plan. We have to revive the policies. We are implementing, preparing the new norms for the BCB, how to go about it. Because, the show must go on, business must go on. A lot of crisis communication should flow from legal to the business side. Be it a salary cut, be it a work from home, and be it whatnot. So, crisis communication is also become one of the part of the legal department, which, generally we have not seen that much, because whatever, you communicate to the people at large, it has to be legally correct. Then a lot of HR employee issues are obviously there, because, people are working, not working from home is also a challenge. There are salary cuts, people are liking, people are not liking. So there are, there's so many things this is happening at the HR and employee issues also. A lot of those issues are also coming up and has to be dealt with the legal. So there is one small force measure thing. Suddenly it come up into it's like a force measure used to be a clause which is like a sideline hero of a movie, Bollywood movie. But overnight, when this COVID thing happened, it's one movie strikes and he becomes an overnight superstar. Everybody started talking about the force measure. Every seminar, webinar, discussion, debates, all post-mortem started happening across that clause, what should be there, what should not be there to cover a situation like COVID, because nobody has seen an uncertain situation like COVID at a global level. So nobody has an answer to it. So everybody was post-morteming and analyzing the force majeure clause as per their understanding, and they are tweaking it to that. And obviously, when FM does not comes into picture, obviously, when FM is not clear, then you have to go to the vendor or to your landlord or to the person you are executed a contract to renegotiate the contract. But that's the only solution which is left with the people. And people are actually behaving very candid and very positive towards this situation. They also know that this is a very difficult situation. So yes, people, the vendors, the landlords, they are actually helping us. They are giving extension of times and all those things. This is happening. A lot of things. This is happening around the negotiation of contracts also. So FM becomes a superstar overnight. So that is one thing which we have never seen. So these are the challenges, the impact which I have seen personally from a financial perspective. As I say, recoveries, collections gone for a toss. Moratorium is again thing. There is a lot of uncertainty over the notifications and the clarifications. But when I see what will be the impact post-COVID and what could be the solution, I always believe in one saying, there is always a blessing in disguise. So though COVID may be a disguise, but still, if we learn a lot from the situation, trust me, it will give us a lot of blessings. First basic blessing is the hygiene. Though it's not a part of legal, but still I'm emphasizing hygiene is one thing which is very basic of it, but COVID has actually taught us to please take that hygiene thing seriously. Simple, be it work from home or your office, be it don't spit in the public places, and all those small things. Wash your hand. Is this a rocket science that we are learning? These are the basic hygiene. I think maybe we are learning from our primary standard, but still. Now post-COVID thing, I told you, trust me, we will never go back to a pre-COVID normalcy. We'll have a new norm of normalcy now. We have to learn few lessons very hard from this current situations. Like I told you, maybe work from home becomes a new normalcy. You may not require to go to the office and do it. Look, I attended so many seminar conferences, and look, we are sitting chatting on a webinars and on a video conferencing. And this thing is actually technology reflecting a lot on the legal side of it. I'm going through a research which is published by FICCI, and FICCI talks about a lot of technological reforms actually. If you see, I just tell you, and few have been implemented pre-COVID also, but we are not very serious about it. But from a litigation side, if you see, we have started e-filing of pleadings and documents, e-service of summons, e-discovery and inspections, evidences in e-courts, hearing through video conferences, remote online notarization, which never happened. But we are actually thinking of notarization of remote online notarization. You can actually do a notarization by use of technology also. And obviously tamper-proof storage of evidence, whatever evidence e-evidences we collected, that has to be stored tamper-proof. And virtual desktop infrastructures. We have seen the courts are gearing up, they are doing video conferencing, e-pleading is happening, but it's just a start of it. Maybe it has to be a new norm, or at least we should have some threshold limit, maybe pecuniary, or maybe on the offensive side, maybe the minor offenses which has to be dealt with technologically only. There is no point carrying the criminals from jail to a court. Trust me, there is a situation in Delhi and other courts where judges are also infected through this COVID, because they are exposed to all these things, to public, to the criminals and all those things. So there has to be some barrier, where if technology permits, we should actually use the technology, and dispute resolution has to be on a very faster mode. The next future which I see, and I always a firm believer since 2008, I am into this arbitration thing. I am a firm believer of alternate dispute resolutions. And believe me, once these financial institutions, they have moved from civil recovery of their dues from civil courts to arbitration, life of everybody, right from court to the councils and the in-house councils, it becomes very easy, I am telling you. because arbitration becomes a very result oriented. In arbitration, people have coupled mediations also, conciliations also. It's a time saver. And the legislature and government has also think through it. Arbitration Act has been amended from time to time so that it meets the international standards also, and it is happening. And not only arbitration, now the physical arbitration will also be translated into online arbitration, because that's the future. Supreme Court time and again is promoting institutional arbitration. And institutional arbitration, one step further, if I go ahead, online arbitration from institution is the future. People have already started working on the online arbitration platform. There are a lot of software companies are already into it. High courts are there who are giving the accreditation to all the institutions who are ready to do the online arbitration. So technology, if I put the technology into picture, trust me, the dispute resolution becomes quite faster. So these are all the learning if we'll actually take from this COVID scenario. Maybe it is pushing us so badly to actually look towards the technology side of it, which we are doing it in the pre-COVID, but not that seriously. Maybe the fear of COVID will put us in a better situations. So these are the few impacts and solutions which I see, which COVID make us, really learn through it.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for that detailed insight on the COVID. And I think it makes a lot of sense when you say that, in sense, it is a blessing in disguise. It really pushes you to the corner and makes you do things that you were not taking very seriously before, but are required in the current scenario and will definitely be helpful in the future. Even if we go to the new normalcy, as you said, that post-COVID things will be different forever and they are not going to be coming back to the normal forever. So we'll have to live with it, do a lot of technology usage and improve things for overall benefit. And I think it really makes sense. And thank you so much for sharing that great insight with us on COVID. Yeah. For our viewers, I think this covers everything, all aspects of it, how it was before COVID, what are we really facing during COVID, and what solutions that we can start implementing from now that will help us once we get into the post-COVID zone. Yeah. Like I said, Rohit. So thank you so much on that. Moving ahead, I would like to also ask you about different approaches of a role in an in-house counsel or an independent practitioner advocate.
I have seen the both sides of the grass, the active litigation also and the passive litigation, which the term I use for in-house counsel who actually supports the litigation. It's a passive litigation, means they cannot appear before court, they cannot argue, they cannot convince a court. But I always believe that in-house counsels has a equal role, in the same footing role as of the independent practicing advocate. So in-house counsel is no more is a job more than a post office postman job. Simply not coordinating, shuffling documents from one desk to another desk. It's a role much better than, because in-house counsel has to do a kind of pre-homework thing for a independent advocate from litigation perspective. I'm saying, so brief, he'll prepare the documentation. So he in turn convince the advocate that we have a defense or we have a case, and the independent advocate in turn convince the judge or the presiding officer that yes, the company has a case. So it's like a very close and very the relationship between independent advocate as an in-house counsel is like a very thin line of difference between the roles of two. The only thing is the one cannot appear before a court, and yes, one can appear before a court. Yes, in-house counsel can also appear before a court, but as an authorized representative only. Yes, the role of in-house counsel has become very vast. He also has the clients, like an internal client, I'll always say. And when I say internal clients, so be it operation, be it customer services, be it treasury side, be it the business side of it, be it the operation side of it. So all these are internal clients. So he also has to understand the client before giving an opinion, similar like of an advocate who also understands his client before taking his brief. Because understanding the business and the brief is very important before you actually hop and jump upon the pleading or the defense side of it. So role of in-house counsel as well as the advocate is both actually. I enjoyed both sides of it, so I can tell you it's like both sides are like, it's a more of a win-win situation kind of thing. So you have a lot of different learnings from each side of the sphere.
Makes sense. And you rightly said that they both have to work hands in hands to make the best out of their opportunity when they appear in front of the court. So rightly said about this. Thank you so much, Rohit. So next question is more of a GC's role. What has evolved in a role of a GC over a period of time when we talk about business strategies?
Whenever we, whenever we talk about the legal department is always said to be as a support services department. It always gives supports, one of the support services it gives supports to a business in doing ease of doing business. But over a period of time, but before that, the role of GC or the legal department used to be more of a, we always think like a roadblocker or only for an opinion giver kind of role we have. Or maybe simply highlighting a risk and leaving up to business to take a call. Now this entire shift from a roadblocker as a high risk highlighter or giving an opinion, now the GC has become also a very important and part and parcel of a senior management group. Also become a very part and parcel of a board also. There are a lot of GC who are on the board members. They are giving equal advices to the management, obviously keeping a balance between the support and the control, which is very important. Obviously, wearing a hat of a legal person, you also need to see that the business should never go on the wrong side of the law. But yes, striving that balance between support and control is also an important role of a GC. GC has also giving an important role in understanding the risk management, understanding business, dispute avoidance becomes very important, and dispute resolution. When there will be no dispute, there is no question of resolution of such disputes also. So yes, the role of GC has also evolved, and business has also understand that GC is not only typically a support services so shift from a cost center to a profit center. This entire paradigm shift. When I am saying profit center, yes, GC and the legal department is also contributing in the profit and loss side of the balance sheet of a company, be it from a contingent liability perspective, defending against case so that less and less money should go outside this thing. Maybe the technology, again I am saying, putting technology into picture, a lot of bandwidth of an in-house cost team, the in-house legal team also becomes free to do a lot of other productive things also. So yes, the role of GC has been evolved from a roadblocker now to a risk management perspective.
That makes a lot of sense, because recently I have been talking to a lot of in-house counsel and legal professionals from around the globe. And just to sum it up, this is a new change that this industry is trying to bring in. You rightly said that a lot of GCs are now part of board members, and they sit into those meetings and they decide which way to go, what is right, what is wrong, and they really help businesses to flourish and become a profitable business. And I definitely second you on that. And for our viewers, this is again, we come back to the same question of legal industry evolving and legal professionals evolving themselves and becoming business professionals now, and helping really industries and companies and businesses to flourish and make the right decisions. Moving ahead, I think we will now go down to our last question for this session. And this question revolves around the young legal professionals. We want to know about you as a legal professional, and you have more than 17 years of journey so far in the legal space. We would like to learn from you, Rohit, what are those 3 core values that you truly believe in?
I always believe and firm believer of 3 core values. One is the integrity, which one should not compromise at any cost. So integrity should be the one thing which one should not forget, whatever situation will come. The second thing is the transparency. When I say transparency, I always believe that legal department should be transparent enough to talk to a business, so that information easily flow from one sphere to the another sphere very easily. Business should not come to me and say what is happening in this thing. I should be proactive and go back to a business in the form of MIS, in the form of dashboards, in the form of reports, where business should know what is happening in the legal department. So transparency is very important for me. Integrity is very important for me. And last but not the least thing is, one should never forget to upgrade itself, be it whatever age, whatever role you are into. Once you are a lawyer, you are always a student. So upgrading yourself is a very key. And I always give one example of a very learned man. Now he's no more with us, Mr. Ramjet Melani, who died at 93 or 94. And I always tell my, my team members, my colleagues, my legal fellows, look, the man, when he would have done his law, most of the laws he has studied must have been, redundant or have been amended so far. 80-90% of whatever law he studied. But he was Ramjet Melani because he never stopped learning himself, never stopped upgrading himself. So that is the key for any legal professional in any sphere, whatever he does, be it independent practice, be it in-house counsel. Integrity, very important, transparency, and keep upgrading yourself. That's the three fundas I always believe in that.
That absolutely makes sense, and it is crucially important. It is very much important to always keep upgrading yourself so that you're always a better version of yourself. To achieve something bigger, to get something better, you always have to be a better version of yourself, and I completely agree with you on that, Rohit. So with this, I would like to thank you once again for sharing such great insights with us. I really enjoyed this conversation. I hope you also did enjoy the conversation. And and from LexTalk.World, I would like to thank you once again for sharing such great insights. Look forward to having more chats with you in the future on some other legal trending topics in the legal industry. For our viewers, if you like this video, please like and share this video. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Clickaway Creators, to hear more from the legal industry leaders. For now, thank you so much for joining us. This is Vinay for LexTalk.